Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today.
Children, let's start with a new lesson in standard 5th. Subject is scholarship, and we will be doing a lesson in scholarship English today. And what is the name of the lesson? It is going to be a very interesting lesson, and it's a lesson based on questions generally. But in particular, we will be talking about WH questions. Now, what are WH questions? Are they very different from normal questions? And then why do we ask questions, children? Have you ever thought about it? We learn many things in life because we ask questions. Okay, so if you want the right kind of answer, you should ask the right kind of questions. So that is why questions are very, very important in the English language. Okay, even when we do these scholarship lessons, you remember I always tell you, you read the question properly. Once you understand the question properly, you will be able to answer well. So that is how important questions are as far as language is concerned. Now, in this particular lesson, we will try and understand what are WH questions. Okay, and then we will also see various other points like what are the different types of WH questions and how will you frame these kind of questions, what is the structure of questions, etc. So let's start with this lesson, WH questions, and before going to WH questions, let us try and understand what is a question. So a question, children, is a type of sentence. Okay, now you must have heard that sentences are of various types. You must have heard of simple, compound, complex also. You might just have heard about it now in the 5th standard, okay? You will learn more about it in the higher classes. But types of sentences which are based on their use or on their function can be of 4 types. And that is imperative, declarative, exclamatory, and interrogative. So imperative means what? When you're asking someone to do something for you very firmly, that is when you're giving an order, that is an imperative sentence. A declarative sentence is a kind of a normal statement. Exclamatory is what? When you have a lot of emotions inside you, when you're very angry, when you're very sad, when you're very happy, that emotion comes out in the way you say the sentence. So that sentence becomes an exclamatory sentence. Finally, you have an interrogative sentence. Now the interrogative sentence is the type of sentence that we are talking about today. So what are interrogative sentences? Interrogative sentences are nothing but they are questions. Okay, now let's take a look at the meaning of these 4 types of sentences once again. So what is a declarative sentence? It just tells something, it declares something, and it ends with a period. Now what is a period? A period is the full stop. Okay, so that is a declarative sentence. The second kind of sentence that you have is an exclamatory sentence, like I told you. So it shows strong feeling. Now this feeling could be negative, it could be positive, any which ways. And it also ends with an exclamation mark. Alright, next you have an imperative sentence. An imperative sentence gives a command, it orders you to do something. So sometimes it could end with a period or sometimes with an exclamation mark. And finally, we have the kind of sentence that we're going to learn about today, and that is the interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence means it always is a question. Okay, it asks for certain information and it ends with a question mark. In short, interrogative sentences are nothing but questions. Okay, so instead of focusing on the other 3 types of sentences today, we will focus on the interrogative type of sentence today. Alright children, so are you ready to learn what are questions, and then we will go on and learn what are WH questions as well. So here we go. the meaning of a question or the meaning of an interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is a sentence that asks a question. Okay? And it is a kind of a sentence which has got a typical form or structure. Let's take a look at how can be the structure, how can be the form of an interrogative sentence. What are the different types you can say in which you can write an interrogative sentence? So here you have the first one. There will be an auxiliary verb. Okay, for example, the word do, which is an auxiliary verb, it's a helping verb. Okay, do. So there is an auxiliary verb in the sentence. There could be a subject in the sentence. In this example, you have the subject do, you. So you is the subject, do is the auxiliary verb. Then you have the main verb, that is in this case it is speak. Okay, and then you have the object, which is not always necessary, but in this case, yes, you say do you speak English. So English here is the object. Okay, so this can be one structure of an interrogative sentence. The auxiliary verb plus the subject plus the main verb plus the object. Or else you can have this structure also. The main verb be, the main verb, the form of the word be. So you have be, the main verb, and it will be asked as were. Then you have the subject, okay, you, and then you have the object also is cold. So were you cold is another form of a interrogative sentence where you have just the main verb in the form of be and the subject. Finally, we come to one more type or structure of an interrogative sentence where you have the WH word. So here the WH word is when. Okay, remember our lesson is about WH questions. So you have the WH word when, then you have the auxiliary verb or the helping verb does, then you have the subject, the movie, finally main verb start. Okay, so you see in certain questions you have the auxiliary plus the subject plus the main verb. In certain sentences you have just the main verb and the subject. And certain questions you have a WH word and then you have the auxiliary verb, the subject and the main verb. Now any question which has got a WH word in it is a WH question. Very simple, and that is what we are learning about today. Okay, so then what are WH questions? WH question is a question in English, that is a request for information. So a WH question is also a question like any other interrogative sentence. WH questions usually start with the word beginning with W and H, but how is also included. Okay, so all words begin with a W and an H or the word how, then these kind of questions are all called as WH questions. Okay, so hope the idea is clear to you. Now let's look at a particular word and let's look at certain questions starting with that particular word. So I have picked up the word where. So see, where is my pencil case? It's a WH question. Why? Because it starts with the WH word where. Then I have where is your book? Where. Then I have where are my glasses? Where. Then I have where is the post office? Again I have a where. And finally I ask where are you from? Where again it has got a where. So come on, look at all these questions and look at the WH word and think, what do these questions want to know? They want to know the position, they want to know the location of something. Where is my pencil case? Where is your book? Where are my glasses? Where is the post office? Where are you from? So you're asking for the location, you're asking for the place of certain things. Okay, so each WH word or each WH question word has also got a kind of a function to perform in the question. Okay, let's take a look at many WH question words here. So you have who means what? then we're talking about someone. When we say why, that means we're talking about a reason. Okay, how, we are talking about manner. Which, we are talking about a particular thing. When, of course, we are talking about time. And what, we are talking about an object. So see, all the WH questions start with one of these words, and each of these words again has got a specific role to play. Is this idea very, very clear to you, children, about WH questions? Now we will move on and we'll look at certain, you can say, WH question words, and we will also see how they perform their function. So see, when you say who, then we're talking about a person. Who? Isn't it? When you say what, then we're talking about a thing, or we're talking about an action. We want information. Remember, all questions seek information. So when you say who, means you're seeking information about a person. When you say what, you're seeking information about a thing, or you're seeking information about an action. Okay, you say what is there in that tray. What? So you're thinking, you're looking at many cans, you're looking at a bottle, you're looking at some papers, or you can say, what is that boy doing? See in the picture, what is that boy doing? He's playing football. Okay, so see how the way you ask the question, that answer you will get. Suppose I would have said, who is the boy? Then I will say the boy is in a red t-shirt. Okay, so depending on the question, you will get the answer. Then come to the next one. When. Now when we say when, means we are talking about time. Alright, so whenever the question when comes up, it means you're asking about the time. When is the exam? When are we going to the movie? When are you going home? Alright, when. Then coming to the next one, which is where. Now where means what? Place, location. Alright, where is the car going to? Or where is the circus located? Where is the yellow building? Alright, so this is where, which indicates place. Then you have how. Now how means the way or the manner in which something happens. How did she fall? She slipped and she fell. Okay, how did this thing get here? It came in through the door. So how means the manner. Or how did you fail? Because I did not study. So how means the manner or the way in which something is done. Then you have why. Now when you say why, means we're talking about the reason. Okay, why did the tree grow so tall? Alright, or we can say, why did he have to go to the railway station? So when we say why, we are asking for reason. So these are all the different WH question words. And wherever these words are used in a question, that question becomes a WH question. Okay, chalo, let's move on and let's learn something more about WH questions. So let's talk about how to form WH questions. So how will you form WH questions? There are a few ways in which we can form WH questions. Let's see. So with an auxiliary verb, we can form a WH question with an auxiliary verb. What are auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs help the main verb. So they are called as helping verbs. Okay. So see, we usually form WH questions with WH, the WH word, an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb can be be, it can be do, it can be have, has, had, etc. plus subject plus main verb, or WH plus a modal verb plus the subject or plus a main verb. Now remember, at this level in 5th standard, it is important for us to understand that auxiliary verbs and modal verbs, they both help the main verb. Okay, there is no need to learn in detail about this. So let's see some examples. When are you leaving? When, are is the auxiliary verb. You is the subject. Main verb is leaving. Okay. Similarly, let's see the other ones. Where do you live? What has she done now? Who would she stay with? Now see, the would here is the modal. It also helps. Okay. You will learn the difference between modals and auxiliaries in detail in a higher class. Who's been paying the bills? Why didn't you call me? What have they decided? Where should I park? So now look at the first line. When are, who's been. So are, been, these are all different forms of the word be. Okay, then where do you live? Why didn't you call me? So the do and didn't are positive and negative. One is positive, the do is positive, the didn't is negative. Has and have are again different forms of the same word. Okay, and would, should, could, shall, all these are the modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliary verbs are verbs which show possibilities. Okay, we will learn it at a later date. So this is one way in which you can form WH questions using an auxiliary verb. There are some more ways. Let's see. So you can make a WH question by also without making use of an auxiliary verb. So sometimes it is not necessary for you to have an auxiliary verb. Okay, without an auxiliary verb also you can form a WH question. How? So see, when what, who, which or whose is the subject or part of the subject, then we again do not need to use the auxiliary verb. We use the word order subject plus verb. We saw it once, remember, in the example. So see how. Who owns this bag? Who is the subject of the sentence and this bag is the object. We use no auxiliary verb. Who do you love most? Now here who is the object of the sentence and you is the subject. Therefore we have made use of the auxiliary verb do. Alright, so sometimes without auxiliary verbs also you can make or you can form a WH question when what or who or which or whose, it becomes the subject or it becomes part of the subject. Moving on, let's see the next way in which you can form the WH questions. That is, we can also form negative questions using the WH question words. How? Here we go. When we ask negative WH questions, we use the auxiliary verb do when there is no other auxiliary or modal verb, even when the WH word is the subject of the clause. So in a negative question, we make use of the auxiliary verb do in its negative form. Okay, even if it is part of the subject. Moving on, let's talk about some examples. So here they are. Affirmative with no auxiliary. There is no auxiliary. Who wants an ice cream? Negative with auxiliary do. Who doesn't want an ice cream? So see here, in this case we have to make use of the auxiliary do, but in the negative form. Alright, which door opened? Which door didn't open? Okay, so again we have to make use of the verb do in its negative form. Alright children, so this is about how WH questions are formed. Now we go to the next part of our video where we take a look at the various question patterns which could be asked of you. So what are the different types of questions could be asked? The first pattern is choose the proper question to get the underlined answer. Then you have pick out the correct option. Then you have fill in the blanks with the correct pair of WH question words. And finally you have complete the response choosing the proper word. So we have 4 kind of questions which could be asked of you based on WH questions. Okay, so let us now try and solve at least 5 examples in each of the pattern. So we start first with pattern 1, where the question is choose the proper question to get the underlined answer. Now remember, the focus is on the answer. Okay, so Saira helped her sister. So the question which you asked, the answer should focus on her sister. So the focus of your answer should be on her sister. Okay, so what will you ask? Will you ask whom did Saira help? Whose help did Saira take? Who helped Saira? By whom was Saira helped? So which one will you ask? To get the answer, her sister, you will use the first option. Whom did Saira help? Her sister. What do you think if I ask, whose help did Saira take? It's a wrong question altogether. Okay, the answer is not at all fitting. If you ask, who helped Saira? Again it is wrong. If you ask, by whom was Saira helped? Again it is wrong. If I ask, what did Saira do? Saira helped her sister. That time the answer would have been correct. But remember, that time you would have to underline the help. What did Saira do? So the focus is on the action. Okay, helped. Here, Saira helped her sister. We are talking about a person. So you will use who or you will use whom depending on the question. Okay, so this, can you connect it with the picture that I showed you in the beginning, where we looked at the various question words and we looked at how they are used. Okay, now we come to the second example. The soldiers fought bravely. Look at the word which is underlined, bravely. So this should answer the question of manner. The soldiers fought bravely. So then which will be the question? When I say manner, then which word will you use? So see, if you go in this way, if you think about it like this, it becomes very, very simple. So when you say manner or when you say the way, then which word will you use? Yes, then you will select the second one as your option. When we say manner, automatically the word is how. So how did the soldiers fight? The soldiers fought bravely. Now suppose the soldiers was underlined, then we would have selected the first one. Who fought bravely? The soldiers fought bravely. Okay, so I hope you got an idea of how these questions are framed. Coming to the third example here. The pencil is on the table. So ask, what are we thinking about? We are talking about the pencil here, which is an object. Okay, so what will be the question? Who is on the table? To where is the pencil? Why is the pencil on the table? What is on the table? So what will be the answer? Obviously, it will be the fourth one. What is on the table? The pencil is on the table. Coming to the second last example in this pattern, choose the proper question to get the underlined answer. You should talk to the principal. To the principal. Okay, we are talking about a person here. So what will be the question? Who should talk to the principal? Where is the principal? Whom should you talk to? Why should you talk to the principal? Now see the first one. Who should talk to the principal? So this could be right, but then when I say who should talk to the principal, again I'm talking about a person, but then will it be right? Let's see. Okay, so the correct answer here is the third one. Whom should you talk to? Then the answer will come principal. Okay, if I select the answer, if the U is underlined, then the first one would have been correct. Who should you talk to? You should talk to the principal. Alright, then we come to the fifth one, the last example in this pattern. She fell sick because of the bad food. Now, because of the bad food is the reason. So which word will be used when you're talking about reason? Who fell sick? Why did she fall sick? How was the food? What happened to her? So which one will be the correct one? It will be the second one. Why did she fall sick? She fell sick because of the bad food. She ate something wrong and she fell sick. Okay, let's move on and let's go to the second pattern for today. Pick out the correct option. So we have to just pick out the correct option from the given options and write the answer. Hows shall we go? How shall we go? How we go? How's we go? So there are certain places where there is no auxiliary verb, certain places there is no modal auxiliary. So come on, make your selection. What's the right answer? How shall we go is the correct answer. Coming to the next one. Choose the proper question to get the underlined answer. Here are the options for you. Dash is your birthday. Dash is your birthday. So what will fit in here? Which is your birthday? Why is your birthday? How is your birthday? Or when is your birthday? Now the birthday is an event. Okay, so what will you say? Which we will say, we will say why, we will say how, or you will say when. Obviously, which is the correct answer? It is the fourth option. When is your birthday? When, you're talking about the time, when. Okay, coming to the next one. Choose the proper question to get the underlined answer. Dash is that man. Again you're asking, talking about a person. So what will be the word that you will use? Will you say, who is that man? You will say, why is that man? How is that man? When is that man? What will you say? Yes, you will say, who is that man? The first option. Alright, coming to the next example. Pick out the correct option again. Whose book is this? Whose book is this? Who book is this? Or whom book is this? So which is the correct way of using the word who here? It is the second one which is correct. The first one is a wrong form of the word. Okay, it is an apostrophe S. Alright, that is wrong. So WHOSE, whose is the right answer. Coming to the next one. To whom was he speaking to? Whose was he speaking to? Whom was he speaking to? Whom's was he speaking to? Which is the correct answer? It is the third one. Whom was he speaking to? In the first one, the to is written twice. There is no need to write the to twice. To whom was he speaking to again is wrong. Okay? So that is, pick out the correct option for you, the second pattern. Coming to the third pattern. Fill in the blanks with the correct pair of WH question words. So the pair you have to choose now. Here comes your question. Dash are you and dash do you want? So will you say the first one, who are you and which do you want? Who are you and what do you want? When are you and who do you want? When are you and what do you want? So which one would be the correct one? The second one will be the correct one. Who are you and what do you want? Okay, moving to the next example in this pattern, example number 12 in the video. Dash did it happen? Dash is he crying? So will I say number 1, who did it happen and which is he crying? Or will I say who did it happen, what is he crying? Will I say how did it happen, why is he crying? Or will I say when did it happen, what is he crying? So which will I say, which will be the correct pair here to choose? It will be the third pair. How did it happen, why is he crying? Alright, moving on to the third one. So how it will be, how did it happen, why is he crying? Coming to the next one. Dash is my bag, dash took it. So what will you say? Will you say where is my bag, who took it? You will say who is my bag, what took it? You will say when is my bag, who took it? Or you will say when is my bag and what took it? Which will be the correct answer, children? Yes, it will be the first one. Where is my bag? Who took it? So there, instead of a, you can say instead of question mark, there by mistake we have put up the full stop. So let me correct it for you. So instead of the comma, you have the question mark. Where is my bag? Who took it? Okay. Coming to the second last question in this pattern. Dash will the meeting start? Dash all are coming. So who will the meeting start? Which all are coming? When will the meeting start? Who all are coming? When will the meeting start? Whom all are coming? Or when will the meeting start? What all are coming? So which one is the correct one, children? Yes, it is the second one. When will the meeting start? Who all are coming? Okay, we come to the last example in this pattern. Dash will explain this problem. Dash, can we solve it? So what words will fit into this blanks? Who will explain this problem? Which can we solve it? Who will explain this problem? What can we solve it? When will explain this problem? And who can we solve it? Or will it be who will explain this problem? How can we solve it? So what do you think is the right answer? Yes, the right answer is the fourth one. Who will explain this problem? How can we solve it? Okay, so this was pattern 3 for you children. Let's go to the last pattern, pattern 4, where you complete the response choosing the proper word. Here is a sentence for you, a question for you, and then we have a response also. Will you ever hurt your friend? No ma'am, I dash. So what will come in the dash? Will it be no ma'am, I won't? No ma'am, I can't? No ma'am, I don't? Or no ma'am, I haven't? So which will be the correct one here? It will be no ma'am, I won't, the first one. Why? Because the question says will. So the answer will be won't. If the question says can, then the answer will be can't. Okay? So that way you have to think when you select the answer. Coming to the next question here, Rahul, will you do this job? Yes ma'am, I dash. So will it be I won't, I will, I don't, I have? So what will it be? It will be the second one, I will. Now you will say, madam, teacher, you can also say, yes madam, I won't. But that will be wrong children, because then it should be no madam, I won't. It cannot be yes madam and I won't. Okay, so the answer is the second one. Coming to the next question, can Naina come for the picnic auntie? No, she dash. So now you must be knowing the answer, right? So will it be won't, don't, can't or haven't? What will be the right answer? It will be no, she can't. Can and can't. So the answer will be no, she can't. Coming to the second last question in this video, is the puppy hurt? So which is the answer? Yes, he is. No, he won't. No, he is. Yes, he isn't. So which will be the correct answer children? It will be the first one. Yes, he is. If I say no, he won't, it doesn't match at all. If I say no, he is, then it doesn't match at all. If I say yes and he isn't also, it doesn't match at all. Coming to the last question, are you feeling better now? What will you say? No, I won't. Yes, I can't. Yes, I won't. Yes, I am. Are? So what will you say? Let's see, what will you say? You will say, yes, I am. Are you feeling better? Yes, I am. Alright. So children, this was the video lesson based on WH questions. What are WH questions? They are nothing but interrogative sentences with a WH question word in it. And which are the WH question words? Why, where, when, what, who, okay, and also how. These are all the WH question words. Alright children, so hope you enjoyed watching the video and also hope you gained some knowledge about questions. Okay, now I watch the entire video and at the end of the video I have set some tasks for you. So try to complete that also.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, And after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now, what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions. And note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.